Good morning, everybody. Star Wars Santa. Today, we're going to be a little bit more relaxed. Not a heavy schedule. It's 125 days until Christmas 2020. It's early in the morning, and hopefully, we get everything working this morning. Yesterday was a bit of a fit getting started and stopped. So, Mike Porter, welcome. Kylo Ren, brand new to the stream. Good to see you here, Kylo. Thanks for joining. So, how appropriate, because I think today we're going to be talking a lot about Ben Solo. Last night, like many others, just wondering, uh, did you guys too get stay up, try to watch to see if the Mandalorian season 2 trailer was going to get released during that basketball game? Um, I I took the rumor to be true. Uh, it seemed like Grace Randolph had her finger on the pulse there and had reliable information. She she tweeted it yesterday. Everybody believed it. I saw Star Wars Theory was on live last night as he expected it to come on live during his live stream. That didn't happen. Lots of people had their finger on the go live button on YouTube, but alas, nothing happened. And I stuck with it. I watched a part of the I watched a good part of the game, the last half of the third quarter and the fourth quarter. Of course, the commercials in between. I was on Twitter and I was on YouTube and I was on Google searching anything that would give me any clue for this trailer coming out. And I guess it didn't happen. So, yeah. Danny Orange, welcome. Good to see you here. Yeah, a lot of people were ready to react live. A lot of people were ready to go. And son of a gun, it did not drop. And so now I think everybody's tired today. I know I'm tired. I hit the snooze an extra couple of times this morning as I got ready for the to get up. So yeah, we have no Mandalorian season 2 trailer. Unfortunately, there's not much to talk about there. Everybody's ready, and I think one of the big questions is that yeah, Mike, yeah, you're on Danny's stream and watching the NBA needs to write a check to Grace Randolph, uh, or ESPN needs to write a check to Grace Randolph because there's a that the second half of that game, the Lakers were up 30 points. They were just putting it on Portland, and there wasn't a game going on so much. I think people were just waiting for that trailer. So any viewership that ESPN claimed, I think they owned some royalties to Grace Randolph because she had everybody on there watching, and we got nothing. We got nothing. I think most people are really, really excited to find out what the tone is. Where's the season going? I think we expect the same sort of content from our gunslinger, right, from the Mandalorian. But people are looking for those Easter eggs. People want to know. Everybody's excited to see. Are we going to get a glimpse of Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka? Are we going to get any kind of clue about who the mystery bounty hunter was? Most people think that's Boba Fett. I'm still holding out hope that it's not. I'm not a big Boba Fett fan, so I don't need. I would much rather see Cad Bane. I would flip my lid if I got a little bit of a sense that Cad Bane was going to show up. That would just be wonderful. Dale, welcome. Good morning. Good to see you here. So that's really. I think most people are just hanging out, really, really excited for this season 2 to come out. Really, really excited to see many of these rumors that we've heard. Are we going to get to see a glimpse of one of these characters in the background. You know that I, as well as many others, will be looking frame by frame through that trailer, playing it on slow speed, fast speed, just to find out if we can see a glimpse, just a glimpse of somebody that we recognize. And then, of course, the, uh, the, uh, the internet will explode with content the moment that releases. So yeah, yeah, Cad Bane. I absolutely love Cad Bane. From the prequel era, he is way up there uh, in my list. I definitely like him better than General Grievous, who's a complete waste of a character. I love Cad Bane more than I think. For me, Count Dooku comes short. I've read some additional content from in backstory with Dooku. The novel about Dooku is really good. There's so he's come up on my list. So I'd have to really think about Cad Bane and Count Dooku. But Cad Bane, he's built for this show. He's a gunslinger. He is perfect. This show is a space western. We've got a gunslinger in the Mandalorian, and he needs a good nemesis. And Cad Bane checks every single box for me. Every single box would just flip my mind. I'd be absolutely crazy if I got to see Cad Bane. So, hoping for the Mandalorian season 2 trailer. I tend to think now that we're not going to get it until when Celebration was scheduled. I would love to see Lucasfilm come out with a fandom type announcement that they're going to have a 8-hour, 10-hour, 12-hour, 24-hour fandom type experience for Star Wars. DC, I think, has raised the bar for online virtual fan gathering, and I know they've kind of fumbled a little bit with what's planned for tomorrow. The Saturday 24-hour thing has been kind of mixed up, and now they've got this other event coming in September. So it's not what it was originally to be. It's still going to be a big experience. It's still going to create waves on the internet, which is what DC wants. It's going to accomplish the things they need it to accomplish. But how much would it be if we could get Star Wars, Lucasfilm, to come out and have that type of experience for Star Wars? I think they've got some stuff they could queue up. Certainly the Mandalorian Season 2 trailer would be big in that. But we could also maybe get more expanded on the Obi-Wan series, what they're talking about with this Solo 2 stuff. And I put it in that context, Solo 2, because I don't know that we're going to get a Solo 2, but we're going to get all those characters kind of brought into live action series in one way or another. So there's lots of stuff out there. Danny, didn't we hear or see the classic Boba Spurs when he approached the gun down? Yeah. So, Danny, I don't know that we hear Boba's spurs, but we do hear the electronic little beeping noise that's associated with Boba Fett. Now, the question is it Boba Fett? Is it actually Boba Fett? Or, yeah, I say Duros is singular. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know that it has to be Boba Fett. And I'm drawing a blank right now. You guys probably, it's early in the morning. It's been a night. Who is the guy that wears Boba Fett's outfit after Boba Fett's armor? Who wears Boba Fett's armor? Yeah, Timothy Oliphant is rumored to be coming in and wearing Boba Fett's armor. And the question is, who is Timothy going to be playing? If he's wearing Boba Fett's armor, Is he going to be playing? And I'm still having a hard time remembering the guy's name. Uh, See if you guys come up with it before me. I'm out here looking. Uh, Boba Fett. Who wears his armor? Timothy. Who is Timothy Oliphant rumored to be in The Mandalorian? They have it in here. Season 2. Yeah, Cobb Vanth. Oh my goodness. Thanks, Dale. It's morning. I should probably go get some more coffee and get some more caffeine in me. Yeah, so I think Cobb Vanth. Cobb Vanth could have been wearing Boba Fett's armor. What we see there at the end of that episode, I do think there's a lot of clues that it is Boba Fett or Boba Fett's armor anyway. And we already have these rumors of Timothy Oliphant being in it as Cobb Vanth. And if that's the case, we may get a Boba Fett, but not Boba Fett appearance. Cobb Vanth, of course. And then I think all the other rumors is going to be Rex. Rex is going to show up with Ahsoka. So the actor plays him is going to be Rex, not Boba Fett. So that's what we have coming there. So that's what I think. I think we're going to get Cobb Vanth. So the question is, will we get a little preview of Boba Fett's armor and not know if it's Boba Fett or Cobb Vanth? I think that's going to be a big reveal for some people who aren't like immersed in the Star Wars lore and don't know that much outside of the movies. And they're going to see Boba Fett and they're thinking, oh my goodness, I thought he fell into that monster in the show and he was eaten. And then they'll find out that his armor was recovered by Cobb Vanth, and it's Cobb Vanth, and it's not Boba Fett. So that's what I'm hoping. But we'll see. We'll see. So I want to kind of switch gears here a little bit and talk about the Ben Solo series rumors. We got Kylo Ren here with us. Took some time to join us. And Dale, I saw you on the Girls with Sabers live stream the other night where they were talking about Ben Solo. There are a lot of rumors out there about Lucasfilm wanting to bring a dedicated series featuring Ben Solo. And the question has to come around when. And there are different sections or different segments of the Star Wars fandom that are looking for different things. So just speculate here a little bit, talk a little bit about what that could be. We already know we're going to get Ben Solo or Kylo Ren in the holiday special Lego version. We know that's coming, right? We're going to get Rey and Ben or Kylo. We're going to get all of the sequel trilogy cast in there. And one of the big pieces to that Lego Star Wars bit is some time travel. It's supposed to mix Back to the Future kind of things. I would not be surprised at all if we see, again, you got to put this in Lego, right? In Legoland. I wouldn't be surprised at all to see the DeLorean from Back to the Future show up. Rey gets in there, and that's how she accomplishes the time travel. That wouldn't surprise me at all. And if that happens, then there's a lot of speculation about Rey time traveling, that it would be the world between worlds, and that perhaps this would open the door for bringing Ben Solo back from after the post Rise of Skywalker era. So might we get a situation similar to Ahsoka being pulled out before she died and then returned still alive to avoid dying? I love Girls with Sabers, and I want to encourage people to behave more like they do. They were disappointed by how the Rise of Skywalker followed up on what was set up before. they were they're still really struggling with how Rise of Skywalker dealt with the characters and the story. And they had very good background, very good reasoned literature based conclusions that where the story could have unfolded, and it didn't. And so when they took a different turn, it left them dissatisfied in many ways. So what they do is they channel that energy into their Reylo, right? So they're big in the Reylo movement, being Kylo, not Kylo Ren Reylo, but Ben Solo is the low in the Reylo. So what they really want to see is that Ben Solo redemption fully carried out, and for him to be reunited with Rey, and for that relationship to continue in a way that matches with some big literary works that are very consistent. But with that come lots of problems. But I'm not a Reylo shipper, and while I follow Girls with Sabers and I absolutely love their content, I think they're doing good things out there for the Star Wars fandom. I don't buy into this idea, and I really don't support using the World Between Worlds as a way to bring people back from the dead. If you keep in mind the way that happened with Ahsoka is they pulled her out before she died, not after. And where I listened to their live stream where they were talking about Girls with Sabers live stream about Ben Solo, a lot of that hinged on him coming back through the World Between Worlds into it, and that is part of his redemption. I don't. That's not for me. If it were to happen, I'm not going to get upset and take my toys and go to my room. I absolutely would follow it through, but at the same time, I'm hoping that the World Between Worlds stays in the episodes that we're in, and it's left there. That we don't revisit it from Rebels, we leave it alone. It opens up a can of worms that I just really don't. I really don't see a big return on. So, so the question. Is my audio bad? Is my audio out? I see. It's not time travel. Yeah, it's fine. Okay. All right. Thanks, Dale. Yeah. So there's the one. So the Girls with Sabers and some others have come up with ways to bring Ben Solo back in a post Rise of Skywalker setting that in context. I'm not sure that that's where they're going to go with it. I don't feel like that's where they're going to go with it. And on the thumbnail here for this live stream this morning, I put the Rise of Kylo Ren comic book series. I feel that they're more likely to explore that era or the era right before we get into The Force Awakens. I think they want to explore that era. I'm with many others who actually want to see it go back all the way between. I would like to see Star Wars really visit that time period right after Return of the Jedi and before Rise of Skywalker. That is a huge timeline we can follow in an animated series with Luke Skywalker, where he goes, his academy, him developing, and all of the machinations that happen there, right? So that's sort of where I would like to see it go. I'd like to see it go back and explore. And I know that doesn't leave Adam Driver in a major role. If we go in an animated series, I think a lot of people really want to see Adam Driver and I think Girls with Sabers touched on something very, very important. Um, the rumor is we're going to explore Ben Solo, not Kylo Ren. Um, you got to keep in mind, much like people see Anakin Skywalker and Darth Vader as two separate beings that were sort of in the same body at war with one another. They see this same sort of thing with Ben Solo and Kylo Ren. And if that's the thing, if they go back and they want to use Adam Driver in a live action kind of way, we can't go back all the way to like him being a preteen or a teenager with angst, all of that. That ship has sailed for Adam Driver, right? He's too old. De-aging him, you can get him back maybe into his early 20s, but I don't think you could de-age Adam Driver all the way back into preteen, teenage time. Let's see what we have. I'll just get caught up on. I don't want to lose track of the chat here. Dale, it's not time travel. We're experiencing right now all the time. Yeah, the world between worlds is not time travel as we see time travel. World between worlds allows somebody to visit different time eras, so there's time travel from that perspective. But I don't know that what the impact would be. We haven't seen it fully played out. If you were to go back, let's say, for example, before the Rise of Skywalker, and you were to pull Ben Solo out, and or Kylo Ren out at some point, right? And you pull him into the world between worlds, and he wouldn't be there for Rise of Skywalker. So you could end up with those kind of paradoxes, right? It does open the door for some paradoxes to come in, and for things to you end up with a multiverse kind of situation, or needing to explain somehow how an event that has already happened, using the world between worlds to go visit and change something or to bring something through. And I think that's where Girls with Sabers are really onto something. If Kylo is when he disappeared at the end of Rise of Skywalker, if he went into the world between worlds, is trapped in another space in between, and he isn't fully part of the Force, but he's in that space in between, then I think there's some opportunity for him to, as they mentioned, to redeem him, go through some redemption arc, and to come back to finish something because of his love, his passion, his redemption, to pull through there, and for him to come back. So I think there is room for that. Absolutely, it could play out, but I just kind of hesitate. So there's that. Let's see what we have. Oh, thanks, Dale. Yeah, click the like if you would, and subscribe. That would be great. I've only just got over 100 subscribers, and we're trying to build the channel. If you're willing to share, you enjoy this kind of conversation, that'd be great. So I think we've discussed Hawk's Holocron. And by the way, I don't think I've said hello. Hello, Hawk. It's good to see you here, Hawk's Holocron. Thanks for joining in the discussion. I think we've discussed numerous times they could also do animated Luke's Jedi Temple and young Ben, Mark Hamill and Adam Driver voicing. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, we're on the same wavelength there, Hawk's Holocron. I've been reading the Young Jedi Knight series. It's in Legends material now. I've been reading through those books. You can find those online, by the way, for free if you find them in the right places. But you can also get them for very cheap to own. But those books, we could absolutely see that kind of story, borrow from Legends, take Luke's Jedi Temple, and develop characters. That absolutely could happen. You could end up with a very young Ben Solo there at some point, and I think that would be great. I think that would be something very, very good. That it could actually start off there, so we end up with a little bit of a jump between end of Return of the Jedi and the animated series. But I think that's absolutely a direction we could go. And if they have Adam Driver on board to voice himself, we know that, of course, we could always get Mark Hamill to do voice acting. He's a fantastic voice actor. So I'm completely on board for having an animated series, bringing Mark Hamill in to voice himself, to Luke Skywalker, and perhaps others. Right? He voiced a couple of the other characters in Rise of Skywalker. By the way, if you know that, put it in the chat. If you know who he voiced in Rise of Skywalker, put it in the chat. There's a person in there. I know who it is. I just throw it out there as a game for this morning. If you know who Mark Hamill voiced in Rise of Skywalker, obviously not Luke Skywalker. There's another character. Share that in the chat. It'll be fun. So there's that idea. So I'm absolutely on board with that. Let's see. Oh yeah, if COVID keeps up, it's the only work people can really do. That's also a very good point. Like with the social distancing, people being quarantined at home, animated series are wide open for these studios to produce. And we know that Disney is all over the animated spectrum. We know Lucasfilm has a long history with animated series, and they're absolutely primed to set it up. And I don't know, there was some talk about Daisy Ridley and the other cast from the sequels. Might we get them to voice act themselves? That'd be great. That'd be great. I would love it. Not that they have to. You can get other voice actors, but if they did that with the prequel era, we have different voice actors for Anakin, for example. We didn't get Hayden Christensen as a voice actor, so that's absolutely possible. Let's see what else we have here. Good morning, Harvey. Good morning, Harvey. Good to see you. Wouldn't Luke be around during the Mandalorian era? Yes. Luke absolutely should be around during the Mandalorian era. It's exactly during that era when he should be out building his Jedi Academy, or still exploring the ancient Jedi text, trying to find out what more about the Jedi, more about the Force. He should still be learning. Yeah. And if he and Ahsoka, a lot of people would love to see Luke meet Ahsoka. Now, the problem you have, to some degree, is Mark Hamill is aged, and I know they have de-aging technology. Could you get Mark Hamill himself? Could you get Mark Hamill de-aged enough to be in a live-action scene with Rosario Dawson? Is that possible? Because you're going to have Rosario playing more of a 30-something Ahsoka, maybe even a 40-something Ahsoka. Could you de-age Mark enough to put him at that stage where he would have been right after Return of the Jedi? I think that's possible. I just don't know that it's very likely. A lot of people would love it because I think it's set up really, really well for Ahsoka to be a mentor. A lot of us wanted to see Ahsoka come in for Rise of Skywalker in the place where we had Leia at the beginning training Rey. A lot of us wanted to see Ahsoka in that as an elder, much like Yoda was when he was training Luke. Wanted to see a much older Ahsoka training Rey at the beginning of Rise of Skywalker, but that's not what we got. So, Kylo, Mike, Hawks. Oh, Dale, just saying hi. Let's see what else. Yeah, you won't get Boyega. I don't think Boyega is on board. So Boyega is on this quest to do other work. Right? He needs a break from it, and I talked about this before. Might he come back? I think he will, but he needs a time break. and I think he thinks of it in about 10-year increments. So he's willing to return, but I think he'll want to do that only after 8, 10, 12 years have passed, and then you might be able to get him back because he will have time in his career to go do other things, and that's what he's really exploring. And he's right now he's a very young man who has some very strong opinions about things, and he is in a position where he can act on that. Right, his career is well established. He can pursue the things that he's passionate about, and then we can return to Star Wars in the future, maybe 10, 12 years from now. So yeah, I don't think you're going to get Boyega to voice Finn, for example. But as I mentioned, in the prequel era, they got other people to voice act. Uh, uh, Not only Anakin, but Obi-Wan, right? So we have different voice actors in there. So it's absolutely, the precedent is there within Star Wars animated to have different voice actors than the live action actors. So that's absolutely possible. Um, isn't the sequel spin-off Rebels supposed to be live action? Oh, Dale. So this is a very good question. Thanks for asking and bringing it up. So there's two different things going on, and I saw LRM kind of went this direction earlier in the week, and then Josh with the Den of Nerds did a show earlier with our guys from Kessel Run, and they talked about all the rumors. I think there is an animated Rebels show still in the works about the search for Ezra Bridger, and I think that is still going to happen. But then we also have rumors of live action casting for practically the entire cast. So we've heard of Ezra, Thrawn, of course, Sabine, and Ahsoka. And as you go through the cast, like practically everybody has a live action. There's a lot of rumor of them being cast. So now there's this discussion: is there a live action replacing the animated? Or my opinion is I tend to agree more with Kessel Run and Josh that both can be true. You can have the animated, the search for Ezra Bridger, and of course once they find him, then you can have a live action series featuring those characters that were found. So I think you could end up with both. I think it's very good. What we have, let me catch up. Uh, Darth Stormtroopers. Hello, if you're still with us. Thanks for joining. We're just talking some Star Wars stuff. We mentioned earlier the Mando season 2 trailer review and the Ben series solo rumors, or the Ben Solo series rumors. We've kind of bridged that into some other rumors of what might be happening within the Star Wars space as far as shows and things like that. So that's sort of where we are in the discussion. We started with, could Ben Solo be post Rise of Skywalker? There are a lot of Reylo fans who really want that, and they've come up with some very solid evidence and ways to make that happen, to make it possible. I'm not on board with that. I'm not in that camp, but I hear what they're saying, and if it were to happen, I'm open to seeing where it might go. I really don't think we're going to get that. And part of that goes back to some of the things we've talked here. I don't think John Boyega is on board. I don't think Daisy Ridley is necessarily excited to do the more Star Wars right now. Adam Driver seems to be involved in something. And whether that's a live action show or an animated show, I tend to think it's going to be before The Rise of Skywalker. I also think it'll be before The Force Awakens. There's some talk that it could fall in that space between The Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker, where he is the emperor or the guy in charge. That's possible, but that's a bracketed time frame, and it would work with Adam Driver. But if it's a truly a Ben Solo series, then that time period would not be characterized as Ben Solo; it would be characterized as Kylo Ren. So I don't know that I buy into it being in that time period. It could be. I don't know that I buy into it being post Rise of Skywalker. For me, I think it's going to be before The Force Awakens, and they'll de-age Adam a little bit, and they'll use him, or we'll go animated, and that's where we're talking right now. So, good to see you here, Darth Stormtroopers. Danny, um, I'm one of those who thinks Sebastian Stan could easily play a middle-aged Luke. You know, it's possible. I think you're going to have trouble, like they did with Solo. You're going to have trouble casting another actor, especially when you've got Luke in uh, in the sequel trilogy with Mark Hamill. You'd have Mark Hamill on both ends of that, and then a different actor in between. It might be rough to pull that off. But an animated series opens that up, and Mark Hamill is a fantastic voice actor, and he's the right person to cast for himself. So that's just me. Um, so right after there's an act. Yeah, it'll work well. A small part in The Mandalorian. Well, you might be able to do that. You might be able to put him in a little cameo scene. I don't know. The the way Star Wars fans are these days, and the way that people uh, kind of fracture and split over everything, it might be rough to pull that off. Because then they're going to get their feelings hurt because Mark Hamill's not playing Luke Skywalker. It's much like many people have their feelings hurt right now because they've cast Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka instead of Ashley Eckstein, and they're like, not my Ahsoka. So yeah, it's just calming people down, right? And if you were to bring in somebody else as Luke Skywalker other than Mark Hamill, you're going to end up with a bunch of fans whose feelings get hurt, and we'll have to deal with that whole mess. So, not that I'm opposed to it, but I just think it'd be dicey. It'd be tough to pull that off. Um, yeah, would definitely be a full-fledged Force user at that point. Yep. Love to see Hera again too, and Jason Sindola. Yeah, Dale. Right. I haven't heard casting for Hera. I saw some rumor that maybe, but I haven't seen anything kind of locked down on that. And there's a couple of other characters that they haven't really specifically talked about. But I think you start to get really inside the game when you're talking about casting some of these characters in Rebels, because the population of general Star Wars fans who have seen these is very low, which is a good thing as well, because it allows for more um, flexibility, right? Everyone's curious to see Jason, find out if he's like his father. Yeah, yeah. Oh, Dank. I don't know how to pronounce your last name. Well, welcome. It's good to see you here. Thanks for joining us this morning, Darth and Dank. Oh, Dale. Yeah. Yeah, it is good to see some of the regulars here this morning, and it's fun to discuss this. So, where might this Ben Solo series fall? My opinion is that if it's Ben Solo, right? The rumor is that it's a Ben Solo series. If it's Ben Solo, then we need to go before Kylo Ren or after Kylo Ren. Kylo Ren falls within the period shortly after the fall of Luke's academy through Rise of Skywalker. I think that rules out that time period. If you're going to cast Adam Driver in a live action, then Girls with Sabers have a very strong argument for post Rise of Skywalker. But then you bring in the other actors from the sequel trilogy, and could you get many of them on board to do that? And I just don't know you could. The other option for that is to de-age Adam all the way down to like teenager or late teen, maybe 18, 19 years old. And then you're talking about a lot of technology and cost to employ that and to have somebody do that de-aging. So it's not like you click a button and it's done. You've got to have somebody go through those frames and de-age. So um, if we have Adam Driver, and if we have live action, and if it's Ben Solo, right? Those are three things that have to fall in together. Then I think the argument for post Rise of Skywalker is very high. If you've got Adam Driver animated Ben Solo, then I think you can pull off before uh, the Rise of the Force Awakens, and that opens that up. If it's Adam Driver and Kylo Ren slash Ben Solo, then the door's open. You could throw it in that period um, between the Last Jedi and the Force Awakens, or the Rise of Skywalker, between the Last Jedi and the Rise of Skywalker, and cast a live action Adam Driver in there is the Kylo slash Ben. But I think at that point Ben is almost entirely subdued, and it's prominent Kylo Ren following the Last Jedi. So I think it would be tough to do that. Solo was just fine. It just wasn't perfect. I agree with you, Dale. I think I think Solo is a fine movie, and I actually think that the work they're trying to do on these spin-off series is good, and it can work. I by the end of the movie, I completely bought in on the actor being, uh, and I could see his name. I just can't get it to clarify to say it. But I'm stuck. But I can see him. All Eric, is it Eric? Boy, it's right on the tip of my tongue. Uh, it's going to come to me. But anyway, I could see him as Han Solo by the end of that movie, and it just kind of felt right. And so we know there's all kinds of rumors in the works around that. I'm fully up for Solo 2. I'm up for the. Uh, we might see Billy D. Williams doing some narration over top of another series involving shoot. It's early, and caffeine is not kicked in. Um, shoot. Anyway, no, it's. I think there's a lot of work going in, and I think the Solo 2 that pre that prequel to Han Solo would work. Um, and I agree with you, Dale. I think recasting somebody is easier than de-aging them. But then you've got to get Alden, yeah, Ehrenreich. Alden Ehrenreich. I was so close. I was like no, Alden Ehrenreich. Thanks, Dale. I'm gonna have to take a break and go get some caffeine. But that's good. I bought into Alden. I thought he worked for me. I just don't know. Danny, yeah, it's easy to be resistant to a new face on Han by the end of Solo. Yeah, totally bought in. Suspension of disbelief. Yeah, I think so too. I bought into it by the end. Ian, just right now, the Star Wars fandom as a whole is fractured, and there's a grumpy group in there who are holding tight to certain aspects, and recasting is one of the things that they're super sensitive about. And I said it the way I did. Right now, their feelings are hurt because Rosario Dawson was cast as Ahsoka, and I see a lot of them still whining and complaining about it. But there's plenty of precedence between animated characters being voiced by somebody who is not the actor who plays them in live action. And I think we have plenty of examples from the prequel era and from the Clone Wars animated series that proved that out perfectly, because the voice actors are capable actors, and likewise the live action actors are capable voice actors, but we have them cast separately for those series. I saw somebody argue that they tried to impersonate, uh, let's say, uh, Anakin, um, but I went back and listened, and they're not, right. So they're their own characters. So yeah, I I'm fully on board with recasting. Danny had to step out for a second. Did we discuss Sebastian Stan? Yeah, I brought him up. Sebastian. So that ties in perfectly with what we're talking about now. Recasting somebody like Luke Skywalker is going to be um, very, very difficult to do with the fandom. They have their feelings hurt enough over casting Rosario as Ahsoka instead of Ashley. And if you were to cast anybody else as Luke Skywalker, and I think Sebastian could pull it off, right? I think he's the right guy, uh, but the fandom is going to get their feelings hurt, and they're going to get all upset about having somebody as Luke Skywalker who's not uh, uh, Mark Hamill. Mark Hamill is Luke Skywalker. Luke Skywalker is Mark Hamill. And if you try to pull anybody into that position, they're going to lose their minds. Just because that's what they did. They're looking for an excuse to lose their minds. And you give them the excuse, and they will. Um, does that excuse their behavior? Absolutely not. Oh, no, they're very naughty. They don't. They're not of the right mindset to. Um, they're looking for a fight, and that's they get their viewership up by fighting. They get their audience up by fighting everything that they see. And if you were to cast anybody, it's already tough enough with Alden as Han Solo. You cast Sebastian as um, Luke Skywalker, and we'll have an ocean of tears. And I'm making a little bit of fun of them. Yeah, I'm just trying to be nice about it, right? So Danny, yeah, our sweet sensitive fandom, exactly. Right? They need their hands held. They're and their emotions. They're just not necessarily emotionally mature, right? They've got a very low emotional maturity, and so when their feelings get hurt, they get mad, and they get mad, then they make a big mess, and they're you got to protect their little sensitivity. That's the way I feel about it. So that's just me being a little cheeky. Dale, James Arnold Taylor, Sam Witwer. Oh, Sam Witwer. Yeah, and Matt Lanter. Exactly. Now, I think I gotta look. I think James. I'm pretty sure. I may have him switched. I think James Arnold Taylor. I think he's the one who tried to imitate um, Anakin's voice. I got to go back and look. It was him or Sam, and they did an excellent job. They did an excellent job of imitating, but Matt Lanter is his own Anakin, and Matt Lanter is the voice that we hear through most of the Clone Wars animated series, and he's the voice that's in your head when you think of that. Matt Lanter. There were a couple that tried, again, I think it's James. I could be wrong on that. I think it was James who actually tried to imitate the voice, but uh, after that, they didn't even try to imitate. They just took on their own. So yeah, you're absolutely right. And, so I asked a trivia question earlier, and let me ask it again. I'll bring it up, and then and you've reminded me of another pretty good one. Uh, that's a good. Oh, there you go, Dale. And you answering the trivia question. Cat Tabor, is that it? Uh, oh, Catherine Tabor. No, you're talking about other actors. So, uh, Rise of Skywalker. We had and I've got to Google it because I can't remember the guy's name right offhand right now. Again, my brain is shut down. Um, Mark Hamill voice acted. So there's a character in The Rise of Skywalker that Mark Hamill voiced, and there it is, found it. And I didn't know if you guys knew who that was. So, do you remember at the beginning when they're flying through the? Yeah, let me see if I've got this still up on my OBS here, and I can show you guys. So you remember when they're flying the Falcon through, and they get the secrets, and the guy who's they open the hatch, and he looks down, and they feed the line down, and he tells them to get out of there quickly, and then he gets beheaded, and Kylo Ren throws his head on the table. Um, Mark Hamill voiced that character, and I'm just looking. I'm having a hard time remembering what the character's name was. A lot of these you never know. It's a Bulio, yeah, Bulio, Boolio. Bulio is the character that Mark Hamill acted. There's also so Bulio is the guy that Mark Hamill voice acted in Rise of Skywalker, and I went back and listened to it, and you can hear his voice in there. It's he does a great job of charactering that, but you can still hear it. Oh yeah, that's Mark Hamill for sure. There's also we've been talking about Matt Lanter. Matt Lanter makes an appearance in live action Star Wars. Where does Matt Lanter show up? So Matt Lanter is Anakin Skywalker. He is Anakin Skywalker. He's the one who you think of in the Clone Wars. So if Matt Lanter showed up in another Star Wars live action scene. What was that scene? Where did it come from? See if you know that one. It's another fun one. It's a good one. So give you guys just a second to think about that. Where did Matt Lanter show up? And it's good. There's all kinds of Easter eggs. Yeah, Whiskey Steve. Good morning. Yeah, Whiskey Steve. You're right. He's in the Mandalorian. The episode on the prison ship. He was the one soldier that was on there that they end up killing. So that was Matt Lanter. That show has a lot of cameos in it from people in throughout Star Wars, and I'm hoping that we get more cameos like that. We also saw, of course, the director show up in the X-wings in that same episode. So that episode with the prison ship, we see a lot of cameos from people in Star Wars, and I love that Matt Lanter was one of them, and I would love to see more of that. The actor that played Obi-Wan in the animated series, I watched him on a Star Wars Theory, and he's a fantastic person. I would love to see him show up in The Mandalorian in live action, not as Obi-Wan, but just as another character, for that kind of thing. So, yeah, he's the egghead. Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to kind of end it just a little bit early this morning. It's almost time for Fanjecture. People jump over to Fanjecture's channel. I'm going to go get me some more caffeine. I'm thirsty and I'm tired, and I stayed up too late last night. That daggone Mandalorian Season 2 trailer did not drop. We're hoping that it does. We talked some speculation about it. So we'll end the stream here. I seriously want to thank you all for being here. If you could leave a like on, if you feel inclined, it'd be great to have you subscribe and share this, that I'm out there. There are people that would enjoy being part of the conversation. I would enjoy having them in, and you don't have to agree with me to be in the conversation. So it'll be great to have more people in the room. So with that, I'll end the stream this morning. Hope you all have a fantastic weekend. We'll come back next week. I've got a couple of topics to bring to the table next week. and maybe we'll even go back to, we kind of broke down what we might want to see changed in the sequel trilogy. What will we maybe change in the original trilogy or the prequels? The prequel era is one that I'm big on. So I would love to go back and talk about that prequel trilogy and what could be changed to make it better, but still the same story. So I've got lots of things like that, and that's it. So Danny, thank you so much. Dale, thank you, thank you, thank you. Whiskey Steve, it's good to see you. Thanks for stopping in. We had lots of folks on here. I'll just go back up, and we saw Dank. I'm not sure you're still with us. Thanks for stopping in. Hawks Holocrons, dude, we're on the same wavelength. It's great to have you here this morning. Thanks for joining. And Darth Stormtroopers, again, I don't know you're still here. If you are, thanks for stopping in. Kylo Ren, first time I saw you today. Hope you enjoyed the show. Hope you stayed with us. It'd be great to have you part of the conversation. And of course, Danny Orange. I think I've gone back. I've said hi to most of the folks that interacted. I hope you guys have a great day. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you next week. Until then, Merry Christmas, everybody. Bye-bye.